Hi Cheyenne, how you doing? So I've got your sketches up here and your written rationale. I just want to draw your attention to one thing here, right over here, and this is the Project 3 um, Phase 2 concept design begin. And right down here, what's due this week? Begin to organize your thoughts in a written draft. 6 solid sketches, and you know that if you remember my introductory video, I was saying, well, forget 6 solid sketches. That seems like a misprint. 6 solid pages of as many logo concepts and pictograms as you can possibly muster up. And I think that's the best way to approach this. I think that, the faster you're sketching, the more ideas you get from your mind to the paper, the more successful you'll be in assimilating those ideas into a branding conceptual basis, so to speak. So I think that, the more sketches, the better. So again, review that introductory video where I indicate that it would be best to use 6 pages of sketches instead of just 6 sketches of logo concepts. Format all of your concepts and a story into a PDF and upload it to the discussion board. So I just want to say that because this should be a PDF attached to this discussion board, just to follow the project specimen, remain true to this project specifications. Just wanted to point that out to you. Over here, we've got our 6 logo sketches, and I think that you're off to some really good, interesting things. One thing I definitely want to mention is the Olympic rings themselves. I'm just going to do something really quick. New window. I'm just going to say Olympic rings, and let's just go to an image search, and we can see that the Olympic rings, it's 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2. So you've in your sketches, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3. Remember, it's 3 rings on the top, 2 rings on the bottom. So keep that in mind. Interesting ideas, really interesting ideas. Now, one thing I do want to mention is that in your ideas, it's okay to include the rings in the logo. That's fine. Many years they've been including the rings in the logo, and I think it's fine. But the thing is the Olympic rings are their own branding. Okay, so the International Olympic Committee has branding rules and regulations regarding those rings. I think that only makes sense. That said, you would not be allowed to alter the ring. So in other words, you wouldn't be allowed to bring outside design motifs or concepts into the rings themselves. So keep those rings pristine. Keep those. View those as intended without changing those at all. And then over here you've got them rearranged. So again, same concepts there. Now this is interesting. I think this is interesting, but again, remember too many rings. There's 7 rings, not 9, or 1, 2, 3, 5 rings, not 7, right? 3 on top, 2 on the bottom. I think this would be an interesting if you were to use the colors. I think it would be a really interesting logo if you were to use the colors, not rings, but maybe just solid circles of the 5 colors of the Olympic rings and assemble them as such. And that might be really interesting. However, it should not be depicted as the rings rearranged in a different kind of arrangement. Again, that would be something that would be most definitely be contrary to the branding guidelines of the International Olympic Committee, the use of the Olympic rings. Really interesting right here. Really interesting. That's Vudar Archway Mandala. And you could explain that a little bit further, I think, in your written rationale. But that's really interesting. Typically, this is interesting too, I think. I don't know if it'll work. It is definitely interesting. Typically, oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. Typically, a logo does include, it doesn't have to, but typically you'd have the logo and then you'd have the city, the rings, and the year as well. So think about that. This, I think, is really interesting. You are talking about, instead of using the pictograms as we know them, depicting the entire body or bodies engaged in the sport, you're just showing a different, like here you're showing the sticks and the puck, here you're showing the skis. And I think it's an interesting approach. I really do. I really do. I think it's a very interesting approach. It's going to be difficult, though, because how are you going to show the difference between, well, figure skating and ice dancing, let's say? Do you see what I'm saying? There's a difference. There's two different events. I think it's called ice dancing, and one's called figure skating, and there are two different events. Also, how are you going to depict couples? The mixed couples figure skating and figure skating. Did you see what I'm saying? So these are things that would definitely have to be kept in mind. Also, speed skating. You have speed skating, then you have team relays, and I guess it wouldn't matter if they're team relays, but definitely if there's couples. Mixed couples figure skating, that would definitely be a different pictogram altogether than just the individual events for figure skating, male and female. And then also, how would we tell what is male and what is female here in your pictograms? Food for thought, just some ideas I'm running by you here. And I think that's why typically you see the Olympic pictograms with the entire body, so that, let's jump over here and take a quick look. Let's go to new window and let's go to Olympic. Olympic pictograms. And let's just jump over here and let's just pick any set. And gymnastics, football, fencing, equestrian. Let's get to, these are all summer sports. Let me just jump in there and say winter. Winter Olympic pictograms. Okay, here we go. Just want to take a quick look here. Yeah, I guess there are some ways to do that, because these don't specifically indicate. Um, oh, here's what I was talking about. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, here would be speed skating. Here would be the different. So I guess typically they don't really indicate male or female. So you would have just figure skating. I'm thinking out loud here, but I'm just trying to kind of ascertain what the difference would be. Um, Okay, well, just just work those out. Think about that and just work those out. Work out those pictograms the best way that you think. And again, I just want to mention, I think that's an interesting approach. So work out the details on that and keep moving forward. Any questions at all? Please let me know. You're off to a great start. Thanks, Cheyenne.